We often ask ourselves, what is the purpose of life? Why are we here? And when seeking answers, some of us turn to ancient wisdom, like the tarot. But what if I told you that a single tarot card could unlock the secrets of existence itself? What if a simple shuffle, a single draw, could connect us to the deepest truths of our reality? I know this sounds far-fetched, but let me take you on a journey that will challenge your understanding of life, death, and everything in between. We begin with the card. I find myself sitting alone, focused, shuffling the deck. I ask the question silently, what is the meaning of existence? The card I draw is the Fool. At first glance, it seems too simple, almost childish. A figure standing at the edge of a cliff, looking up at the sky, a small bag over his shoulder. But as I sit with it, the profound symbolism of the Fool begins to unravel in front of me. We are all the fool. We begin our lives without knowing where we're going, oblivious to the dangers, the challenges, the heartbreaks, and the joys that await us. The cliff represents the unknown, the leap of faith we all must take at some point in our lives. But what does it really mean to be the Fool? What does it mean to journey into the unknown?
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
Think about your own life. How many times have you stood at the edge of uncertainty, unsure of what lies ahead, and yet you step forward? Why? Is it hope? Is it curiosity? Or is it something deeper, a faint, unspoken understanding that no matter what happens, you are part of something far greater than yourself? This is where the card's message starts to unfold. The Fool teaches us that the meaning of existence is not found in certainty or safety. It is found in the willingness to step forward even when we don't know where the path leads. Now ask yourself, when was the last time you truly embraced uncertainty? When was the last time you took a step into the unknown, trusting that something larger was guiding you, even if you couldn't see it? Life is full of these moments, these leaps of faith, and the Fool reminds us that these are not accidents, they are essential. They are the very fabric of existence. Let's go deeper. I sit with this card for days, meditating on its meaning, and something strange begins to happen. The Fool becomes more than just a card. It becomes a mirror. I see myself in its symbolism, but I also see you. I see all of us. We are all wanderers in this cosmic journey, carrying our baggage, our past experiences, our fears, our dreams over our shoulders, often oblivious to the divine orchestration that surrounds us. We walk forward, sometimes blindly, but always with the potential for growth, transformation, and discovery. But here's the real question. If life is a journey, and we are all the Fool, what are we journeying toward? Is there a destination? Or is the journey itself the point? This is where the card reveals its deepest wisdom. The cliff that the Fool stands on is not just a symbol of risk or danger. It is a symbol of potential. The edge of the cliff represents the threshold between the known and the unknown, between the material world we live in and the spiritual realm we are all connected to. Our existence, then, is a dance between these two realms. We live in the physical, but we are constantly reaching for the spiritual, for something beyond ourselves. As I continue to reflect on this card, I realize that the Fool's journey is not about reaching a specific destination. It's about embracing the process. The meaning of existence, then, is not found in achieving success, acquiring wealth, or even gaining knowledge. It is found in the willingness to move forward, to evolve, to explore the unknown even when it scares us. The Fool reminds us that life is not about having all the answers. It's about asking the right questions and being brave enough to step into the mystery. So let me ask you, what mystery are you avoiding? What leap of faith are you hesitating to take? We all have something, a fear, a doubt, a question that holds us back from fully embracing the unknown. But the Fool teaches us that the only way to truly live is to step forward, even when we don't know what lies ahead. As I sit with the Fool longer, another layer of meaning begins to emerge. The small bag that the Fool carries, what's inside it? Why is it so small? This bag, I realize, is a metaphor for the knowledge and wisdom we carry with us in life. It's small because in the grand scheme of things, we know very little. No matter how much we think we understand about the world, about ourselves, about the universe, our knowledge is limited, and that's okay. The fool doesn't need to carry a large bag because he trusts that whatever he needs will be provided along the way. This raises a profound question. How much of your life is driven by the need to know? How often do you find yourself clinging to certainty, to answers, to the need for control? In a world that constantly demands explanations and solutions, the fool reminds us that not knowing is not a weakness. In fact, it is a strength. It is the openness to possibility, the willingness to be surprised by life, that allows us to truly grow. We live in a culture that values knowledge and certainty, but what if the deepest truths cannot be known in the traditional sense? What if the meaning of existence is not something we can grasp intellectually, but something we must experience? The fool's journey is not about accumulating knowledge. It's about experiencing life in its fullness without the need to label, categorize, or control it. So what does this mean for you? It means that the next time you find yourself in a situation where you don't have all the answers, where the future feels uncertain, where you're standing at the edge of your own cliff, you can take a deep breath and remember that not knowing is okay. In fact, it's more than okay, it's part of the journey. It's what makes life worth living. But here's the tricky part. How do we balance this openness to the unknown with the very real need for security, stability, and understanding in our everyday lives? This is where the fool's wisdom becomes even more profound. The card doesn't suggest that we abandon reason or foresight. Instead, it teaches us that true wisdom lies in knowing when to let go of control and trust in the process. We don't have to have all the answers right now. We just have to be willing to take the next step. In the final phase of my reflection on the fool, I realized that the card's deepest teaching is about surrender. The fool is not afraid to step off the cliff because he trusts in something greater than himself. Whether you call it the universe, fate, destiny, or divine guidance, the fool understands that there is a larger plan at work, even if he can't see it. What would it look like for you to surrender in this way? To truly let go of your need for control and trust that life is unfolding exactly as it should. This is not about passivity or giving up. It's about recognizing that, while we have the power to make choices, we are not the ultimate architects of our fate. There is a delicate balance between action and surrender, between knowing when to push forward and when to let go. The fool teaches us that the meaning of existence is found in this balance. Life is not a problem to be solved or a puzzle to be completed. It is a journey to be experienced moment by moment with openness, curiosity, and trust. So, as you move through your own life, facing your own cliffs and uncertainties, I invite you to ask yourself, what would it look like to surrender? What would it feel like to trust that, no matter what happens, you are exactly where you need to be? As we continue deeper into the mysteries of the fool, we must now confront the ultimate paradox, the leap itself. Up until now, we've explored the symbolism of the cliff, the unknown, and the willingness to step forward despite uncertainty. But now we must ask, what does it mean to leap into the infinite? What happens when we surrender not just to life's immediate uncertainties, but to the very mystery of existence itself? At some point in our lives, we all face a moment where the familiar dissolves, where the ground beneath us seems to vanish, and we are left with nothing but the vastness of uncertainty. It could be in the face of a personal crisis, a spiritual awakening, or the realization of our own mortality. These moments are terrifying, but they are also the moments where we are closest to the truth. They strip us of our illusions, our false sense of control, and force us to confront the raw, unfiltered reality of existence. But here's the thing. When we leap into this infinite unknown, we don't fall. We don't plummet into chaos or darkness. Instead, we find that we are held. There is a force, call it the universe, call it divine love, call it cosmic intelligence that catches us. The fool's leap is not a leap into nothingness. It is a leap into everything. It is a leap into the infinite web of connection that binds all things. Think about this for a moment. What if every time you faced uncertainty, you knew deep down that you would be caught, that you would be supported not by something outside of you, but by the very fabric of existence itself? This is the ultimate wisdom of the fool. The cliff is not a place of danger. It is a threshold. It is the point where the finite meets the infinite, where the limited human mind meets the boundless nature of the universe. So let me ask you, what are you afraid of? What is it that holds you back from leaping into the infinite? Is it fear of failure? Fear of the unknown? Or perhaps it's the fear that you will lose yourself in the process, that by surrendering to the infinite, you will lose your sense of self, your identity, your place in the world. This fear is real, and it is valid. But the fool teaches us that true freedom lies on the other side of this fear. It is only by leaping, by letting go of the need to control, that we can experience the fullness of existence. The leap into the infinite is not a one-time event. It is a way of being. It is the willingness to live each moment with openness, knowing that you are part of something far greater than yourself. It is the recognition that every step you take, even the smallest, most mundane step, is part of a cosmic dance. And in this dance, there is no wrong move. There is no failure. There is only experience, growth, and transformation. But how do we cultivate this mindset? How do we, in the midst of our busy, chaotic lives, learn to live in a way that embraces the infinite? It begins with trust. Trust in the process. Trust in yourself. Trust in the unseen forces that guide your life, even when you cannot understand them. This trust is not blind faith. It is a deep, intuitive knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, even if it doesn't feel like it. As I contemplate the fool further, I realize that this card holds within it a profound paradox. On one hand, the fool is carefree, innocent, and almost naive. On the other hand, the fool is deeply wise, embodying the highest spiritual truths. How can this be? How can one figure represent both innocence and wisdom, both ignorance and enlightenment? The answer lies in the nature of existence itself. Life is not linear. It is not a straight path from ignorance to knowledge, from darkness to light. It is cyclical, paradoxical, and full of contradictions. The fool understands this. He knows that the more we learn, the more we realize how little we actually know. He knows that true wisdom is not about accumulating knowledge, but about embracing the mystery, the unknowing. This is why the fool carries so little with him. He is not weighed down by the need to figure everything out. He is not burdened by the complexities of the world. Instead, he moves lightly, trusting that everything he needs will be provided along the way. This is the paradox of existence. The less we cling to certainty, the more we are open to the infinite possibilities that life has to offer. So, I ask you, what are you clinging to? What beliefs, ideas, or identities are you holding onto so tightly that they are preventing you from experiencing the fullness of life? We all have something, whether it's a fear of failure, a need for approval, or a desire for control, that keeps us from fully surrendering to the flow of existence. But the fool teaches us that true freedom comes not from holding on, but from letting go. This doesn't mean that we abandon all responsibility or stop making plans. It means that we learn to live with the paradox. We learn to hold both certainty and uncertainty, both action and surrender, both knowledge and mystery. This is the art of living. This is the wisdom of the fool. As we near the end of our exploration, one final lesson from the fool emerges: the return to innocence. In many ways, the fool represents a state of being that we all long for, a return to the purity, curiosity, and openness of childhood. But this is not a literal return to the past. It is not about becoming naive or ignorant. It is about reclaiming the sense of wonder and possibility that we often lose as we grow older. Think about it. When you were a child, the world was full of magic. Every day was an adventure, full of new discoveries and endless possibilities. You didn't worry about the future or dwell on the past. You lived fully in the moment, trusting that life would unfold as it was meant to. This is the state of being that the Fool invites us to return to, not as children, but as wise, awakened beings who have seen the complexities of life and yet choose to embrace its simplicity. The return to innocence is not about denying the challenges of life. It is about seeing those challenges through the eyes of the Fool, eyes that are open, curious, and full of trust. It is about recognizing that no matter how difficult life may seem, there is always magic to be found in the present moment. There is always a deeper truth waiting to be uncovered, a new adventure waiting to be experienced. So, as we conclude this journey, I leave you with one final question. What would it look like for you to live with the innocence of the Fool? What would it feel like to approach each moment with openness, curiosity, and trust, knowing that you are part of a grand, cosmic adventure? The meaning of existence is not a destination, a goal, or an answer. It is a journey that we are all on, whether we realize it or not.